Good afternoon. My name is David Jensen. Welcome to the Mississippi River and the backwaters. This is my home. I would like to be on a loan. Welcome to the backwaters of the mighty Mississippi. My name is David Jensen. I am 53 years old and I live in Unalaska, Wisconsin. This is my home, the backwaters of the Mississippi. I believe I have what it takes to be on a loan, and I hope you do too. I'm here playing in the mud, so to speak. What I'm doing is I'm looking for some arrowhead tubers. And the arrowhead plant gets its name from the arrowhead-shaped leaf. This was a very important food source for the Native Americans, and the Native women would go out into the marshes and do just what I'm doing. They'd try to dig up the tubers with their feet, and when they floated to the top, they'd put them in their floating baskets. I haven't been able to find any yet. Oh, here's a small one right here, so that's the arrowhead tuber. We're a little bit early in the season. I think it would be better, or the bulbs would be better later on. In the fall, the plants are still growing, and probably at this time, since it's getting towards the end of the season, putting all their resources in the tubers. So I would imagine, in a few more weeks to a month, these tubers would get quite a bit bigger. There, we got two of them so far. We'll do a little bit more grubbing around here and see what we can get. So there's a quick look at them. Very important source of food, a lot of starch in them. From what I read, they used to dry these and then boil them in the wintertime, so they had a continuous food source. I tried to feel them with my hands, but they must not be, since they're so small, I just couldn't feel them. So we'll dig around a little bit more and hopefully get a few more up. It's kind of fun, actually. Guess all kids like to play in the mud, and I'm no exception. Oh, there's a big one. That's a really nice one. So we're getting a few just by working the bottom. They float to the top after you break the plant stock off. Well, we got our nice little plate of vegetables here. Now we're going to see if we can catch some fish. I'm tied up to what we'd call a snag on the Mississippi River. It's basically a blowdown tree that's been in the water. Great cover for fish. Here I'd probably expect to catch either bluegills or crappies. We're going to throw a small 1/64 ounce jig on with a little piece of night crawler, and I believe we'll have another part of our supper. Well, we caught a couple fish in just a few minutes. We caught a rock bass right away. It's a small one, but if we don't catch nothing else, we'll keep it. Also caught a pretty decent bluegill, so I expect to catch a few more fish in just a minute or two. If not, we'll move on. I guess now I got to get some water so we can cook them arrowheads, so I'm going to filter my water. Doesn't look too appetizing, does it? There we go. Purified water, ready to go for lunch, or supper, I guess I'd call it. Dinner in some parts of the country. Well, we've gotten some arrowhead roots for our dinner. We've caught a couple fish. Now we're going to see if we can get a squirrel, or whatever else may turn up.
You may notice I'm now wearing long pants and rubber boots. Well, we're in swamp country. There's snakes. There's swamp rattlesnakes, or massaguas they call them, but I'm not afraid of them. I've never seen one here. The main thing to be concerned about is poison ivy, and here's a perfect example of a poison ivy plant. Basically, it's got 3 leaves together, so anything with 3 leaves, stay away, don't touch. I just got my squirrel. Huge one, but persistence paid off. A Mississippi swamp gray squirrel. Got a headshot. We'll go clean him up. Actually, a neck shot. We'll go clean him up, build a fire. We're going to have fish, arrowhead, and squirrel. Alright, I'm going to show you the tail method to clean a gray squirrel. Make sure you can see this. I take my knife, I cut between the tail and the body. Make sure you sever the tail, but not the hide. And I kind of start it a little bit. I get a little strip going along either side of the leg, and this works best when the squirrel is warm. Step down on his tail there that you cut off, right where you cut it off. Grab its 2 hind feet and pull. That's the first half of the hide. And now you can get its rear legs off. Generally, you're not going to get much hair on it this way, and usually with the squirrel, it's very easy to get hair on them. Cut the legs off. Cut the head off. I'll snap it, then I'll cut it. Snap it, then cut. There we have our skinned squirrel. Hit him. And out with the guts. Alright, we got a pretty good fire going. I'm going to put this squirrel on here kind of off to the side so it doesn't cook too fast. Then I'm going to add some of our filtered water. It's got a slight tea color to it, to our arrowhead roots. Actually, we'll add it all. Put that on the hottest part and let that come to a boil. We do have a couple fish to clean. They're going on the grill yet. And let's see if I can find, well, I think I found a new use for a machete. Kitchen utensil. My wife would be so impressed right now. Little does she know, I'm having a great time. I guess we'll just turn this bloody board over and use the other side for my plate. Alright, let's try one of these tubers. We'll peel it with my handy dandy kitchen utensil machete / saw. It's got the consistency of a potato. A little fried in butter action would be better probably. I just picked this up today and I highly recommend it.
got a very good flavor. Texture is kind of mealy. Let's see if my squirrel is cooled down. Squirrel is pretty chewy and stringy. This happened to be a younger animal, but they are still chewy. Next time I would do this, I would probably parboil it, and then once it's done and tenderized, I'd probably cook it over the fire. Still very tasty. Protein. Plate would be nice. Kind of sad when you think about it. This animal is running around minding its own business. And yesterday squirrel season opened in Wisconsin. And I come out here today and take its life. I'm a true big time dedicated hunter. And if I could catch and release, I probably would. I do enjoy eating venison, elk, bear, squirrel, rabbits, whatever. But I always feel bad of taking its life. I guess there's a sense of elation and pride that you succeeded in stalking and killing that animal, but there's always the thought of regret and sympathy for the animal. I'll be doing this again. Hopefully I'll be doing it on alone. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed my company. And I am very hopeful that you pick me for your next show. With that, it's time to clean up and say good night.